All right. Chrissy here with PopCultureMadness.com and ConcertBlogger.com with JP from Clutch. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
So how are you enjoying your afternoon at Rock on the Range so far? It's looking a little chaotic out there.
So far, it's been a blast. We haven't actually been here for that long, but for the short time that we've been here, man, it's been fantastic.
So what can we expect from your set? You guys are closing out the Jaeger stage tonight?
Yeah, we're going to play a whopping half hour this evening. I think the meet and greet that we do after the set is actually longer than set time.
Oh my God.
But yeah, we'll play some songs off the new album, Earth Rocker. It's been fun playing those songs live. The songs themselves really came together in the live setting before we actually recorded the record. So that lends himself to the live environment. So it's been a lot of fun playing those songs, and you'll hear some of those tonight.
Well, it's got to be cool for you guys to get some fresh material out there, even as a band. You know, it's probably refreshing to get some new songs out there and, you know, crowd test them, road test them.
Certainly. I mean, the new stuff is always going to be the stuff that you're most excited about. You know, that's going to be where your headspace is at. But at the same time, we try to mix in a good bunch of the older material. Sometimes we'll even pick songs from each album. We don't have enough time to do that tonight. But yeah, it's fun to sort of mix and match. We always change up the set list every night. For us, that makes it more exciting. It keeps us on our toes, and I think it makes for a more musical and a more honest musical experience.
Absolutely. I was going to ask you how difficult it is for you to put together a set list with so many albums under your belt.
Well, years ago we came up with our own method, and we actually start the set with the tour with Dan making the first set list. I make the second one. Neil makes the third one. Tim makes the fourth one, and then we start over again. That's actually alphabetical order of first name.
So who's in rotation today?
We came up with that 15 years ago, and we continue to do that now. As silly as it sounds, it really does make it makes for a more exciting experience.
Well, it's fair for everybody.
Yeah.
So, can you talk a little bit about just the tremendous amount of feedback that Earth Rocker has been getting? I mean, it's just tore up the charts. It's like one of the highest placing albums for you guys. Like, absolutely incredible. What's it feel like to reach that point now in your career?
Well, obviously it's exciting. You know, we've been a band now for 20 years, and to make a record that makes an impact the way this one has, we're very excited about that. We knew going into this record that we wanted to make a very focused album and a very a rockin' record, something that had a good energy from beginning to end. And we really felt like there was sort of a lack of honest rock and roll happening out there. So that was really the impetus for the whole thing. That was the mindset behind it. And once we came upon that sort of philosophy, it actually made making the record easier.
I mean, that's exactly what you said. What fans are hungry for is a lot of that honesty. So much of what we hear on the airwaves and on TV and everything is this cookie cutter music, and I think that audiences are very hungry for something else.
Clutch audiences especially. I'm very proud of the folks who come to see us play. These are people who really enjoy music, and I think they probably had a very wide variety of music in their own playlist. Just like us as a band, we listen to a very wide range of musical styles, and I think Clutch fans see that.
So for you personally, what was one of those pivotal music moments that happened in your life that made you decide you had to pursue it for a career?
Well, there was a few of them, but the one that stands out most in my mind and the one that really made me say that's what I want to do was seeing the Bad Brains in 1989 in Washington, D.C. at the old 930 Club. And I had just graduated high school. I was 17 years old. And, seeing those guys really changed my perspective as to what a musical experience could be. The club was absolutely rammed, and it seemed like it took forever for those guys to hit the stage. But when they did, that place turned into a church. For me, that was one of those spiritual experiences that really make you consider why we're here and what are we doing. I looked at those guys on that stage and said, that's what I want to do.
What is it like for you now to have fans and things kind of have those same experiences at a Clutch show?
Well, it's very inspiring. We have folks of all ages that are coming to see the shows. I see a lot of kids out there these days, and that, for me, that's really exciting. The idea that maybe that kid is going to see this concert, and maybe he'll become a musician, or maybe not, but at least he saw a real, honest musical experience when he was very young, and maybe that resonated with him.
Absolutely. So can you take us in the recording process and maybe one particular song and kind of tell us what the mindset was like in the studio when you were making Earth Rocker?
Well, I think probably the title track, Earth Rocker, that was one of the first songs that really came together, that we really felt strongly about. When we were in the early stages of putting the songs together, we were sort of just going through jams that we had collected over the last couple years. Generally, the mindset in between tours is to go home and we just get together to jam. We're not really concerned about making songs so much as we are just making a couple parts that feel good with each other. When it gets closer to the actual recording of the record, that's when we start to be a little more critical. We tend to analyze stuff a little more, and it was at that stage that Earth Rocker sort of became its own entity. And that particular song, I think, really sort of paved the way for the rest of the material. I think once we understood that we were trying to make this sort of very rockin' kind of a record with a lot of up tempos and a lot of shuffles too. There's a lot of rock and roll shuffles on the record. Once we knew that was the direction we wanted to go in, it made making the rest of the record easier, and it sort of fell into place.
Oh, yeah, I could definitely see that. Sometimes it's like you gotta have that one peg in place to get everything to fall into place around it. So you guys have a few more festivals. I know they recently announced the Shindig Festival coming up with you guys on it. So what else is going on?
Well, we have about another 2 weeks left on this particular run. And then we'll head over to Europe, and we'll do a bunch of festivals over there. We'll do some club gigs. We've not actually played clubs in Spain yet, and so that'll be exciting. And we'll do a couple festivals in Spain as well. But we'll be going all over Germany and France and Holland and all those places. So that's going to be a fun trip. And then we'll come back and we'll finally have a little bit of a break. We've been at it for quite some time, so it'll be nice to spend a little bit of time in the backyard, eating tomatoes and firing up the grill. But that won't last very long. We'll be right back out again. As you mentioned, the Shindig happens in September, and then we'll hit the road again. So we'll be on the road for quite some time.
What a lineup that thing has. I was like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, we're so there. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking a few minutes out to speak with me, and we definitely look forward to your set tonight at Rock on the Range. Thank you.
Thanks very much.